Morning. It's it's afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's March 23rd, and a beautiful day, about 10 degrees Celsius. We're gonna do some waypoint. Waypoints on the Fimi is not point and shoot. It's not plug and play. It's not intuitive. You've got to figure it out as you go. The Xeno, on the other hand, and the Bebop is A, B, C, D. It's pretty simple. This one is pretty complex as far as waypoints go, but let's try and get into it. If I push waypoints now, the only thing that's showing is the waypoints. The only way you can get into it is by pushing that. And you can go in and you can add waypoints and save them so you can recall them later. But I don't want to do that right now. I want to do a complete waypoint. So you have to have the bird in the air first. And this is what takes time and uses battery, and it's confusing a little bit. Let's bring it up and see what happens. Okay, we're gonna go auto launch. Up it goes, should go 4.5 meters. I've probably done this waypoint about 6 or 7 times. So when I go into it now, they're all illuminated. And I can pick a history. And if I pick a history, it doesn't have any, because I haven't saved any. Okay, so let's go into the waypoints, into the waypoint by the map, and we'll increase the size of the map, and we'll just hit some waypoints here. So I want to go here, number 1, and it says 5 meters. I want to increase that to about 29 meters. Now, the Fimi is not the greatest at hovering. It wanders around about a meter or so. So we've got 29 meters on that one. Then we're going to go to another one, 29 meters, and a third one, 29 meters. We're going to put a point of interest in the middle, so it's going to focus on that point. Okay? It says 5 meters. So the way I'm going to check that is I'm going to raise the camera to see if it points back down once it starts. So I made a mistake already. We have to get out of that. Do it again. We go back in, waypoints, plan it out. Go one there at, and it always goes back down to 5 meters. 25 meters? Okay. Add that one. Add another one. Add another one. Put the point of interest in, and you have to add all the waypoints. If you don't do that, it doesn't follow the focus. Okay? Then you go to the top right corner of the arrow. It's 3 meters per second. And it says the heading and the route. You don't worry about that because you've got a focus point. If you didn't have a POI, you would go route and it would follow the route around on the focus. Okay? Now then, the Failsafe says exit. You have a choice of continue. I don't know what that does. And at the end of the mission, it's either hover or return home. So let's just do this and see what happens. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera down. No, I'm going to bring the camera all the way up and see if when I click go, the camera goes down. Okay, here we go. It turns and goes. It's going up the focus point, and it doesn't change the camera. So I have to bring the camera down manually. Okay, it goes to the first waypoint, and it goes to the next waypoint, and it's pointing at the point of interest. It's at the second one, and it's going to the third one, and at the end of that it should hover. Okay, and it says we're there, and the mission is complete, and it's just hovering. Okay, so let's bring it down. Bring it down. Face us again. Down we come. And forward. Ooh, what happened there? I have no idea. There we go. Tell you, sometimes this is a strange bird. But anyway, let's go back into the waypoints. Into waypoints. Do another one. I'm going to go there, and we're going to go to 30 meters. Okay. We're going to go to here, 30 meters. Here, 30 meters. Do a point of interest in the middle. Add to all. Go to the arrow in the top right corner. And we're going to go 3 feet per second. We're going to go to continue. See what the difference is. Okay? Well, I don't think we're going to go that. We'll go a return to home. And we'll say go. It goes up. It's going to focus on that point of interest. Still going up to the 30 meters. And I haven't started the video yet, I don't think. What's it look like here? No, I haven't started the video yet, so on the next one we'll do a video. And it's going to the second one. And now to the third one. And it's keeping the point of interest as its focus point. And then it should return to home. Faces us. You can see it in the small map below. And it's coming down. Well, it's not facing us, it's facing the point of interest. Okay. Now I don't have the precision landing on it because I don't have a landing pad. It just means it's not going to find, and it lands. And it lands within a meter of where it took off. Okay, that's great. So we're just going to put it back to where it started from. And we're going to go up again. Let's go back to the main map here. And we're ready to go. And we're going to auto launch. And it's going to go up 4.5 meters. This time we'll do the video on it. Once it gets to the 4 meters and hovers there, 4.5 meters. Now I did do this with my tech class tablet, and the tablet kind of had some funny stuff and canceled out the video, and it's not the greatest. You see how it hovers around? See the movement? So it's not very and there's hardly any wind. So it's not a very stable hoverer. Okay, so let's start the video. Okay. Okay. Let's go into the waypoints. waypoints. And we're going to go one there. And we have to erase again because 29 meters. Okay. We go to there, add, there, add, and add. Put a focal point in the middle, add to all, add, and we're going to go to a hover at the end, and we're going to go. It's going to go up to the 30 meters or 29 meters, and I can adjust the camera, as you can see. It's at number 1. It's going to number 2, and I can play with the camera going up and down. And now it's going to go to number 3. And then it's going to go to number 4. Still focusing on the point of interest. And it will hover. Mission is complete. Okay? So let's bring it down and turn it. And come forward. Okay, and this is where we're at. Okay. Now we're going to go into the waypoints again. And we're going to go a waypoint there. And it's 7 meters now. I don't know why. 30 meters. Okay. Add 30 meters. Add 30 meters. Add 30 meters. We'll go into here. I'm going to go I'm not going to do a point of interest. I'll do the route. And it should hover at the end. We'll go. So this time, there's no point of interest, so when I put route, it just follows the route and focuses on the route where it's going. And I can adjust the camera, go down and up, and it's turning. And I can go up again. And it's going to reach the next one, and it's going to turn. And it's going to come along to number 3. And this is at 3 meters per second, so okay. And it's going to reach number 3, and it's going to turn and go to number 4. It should be about right there. And hover, and it says number 4, mission completed. Fine, we're going to bring it down. And come forward a bit. There we go. Now then, let's go into this again, and we'll go again. And we'll move the map. We'll go 1. It says 5 this time. 32 meters. Add that. Add that. Add that one. And add that one. And when we push the arrow, we're going to go to continue. And what I'm going to do is when it hits number 2 or 3, I'm going to turn the controller off. Okay? And let's put a point of interest. Okay, add to all. Go to the arrow. And we're going to go to continue and see what happens. I'm going to turn the controller off. Okay, it's going to go up. And remember to miss all the lamp posts and make sure your altitude is high enough. So, let's see what happens. We're going to shrink this a little bit. There we go, we're at number 1. We're going to number 2, and we're going to turn the controller off, which is a failsafe. And what's going to happen to it? It's moving. And the controller's off. The controller is completely off. And it is continuing on the flight plan. And then because the controller is off, it's going to come home. Now I've just turned it back on. And I may not get it in time. And luckily it missed the house. So it continued and finished its flight plan, and down it goes. And stop the video. Okay, let's stop that and evaluate. This is a continuation of the Waypoint experiment, and my SD card is still running properly. I have a problem with this SD card. It sometimes says it's running slow and sometimes not. The controller is still at 75% battery, and this is the second flight with it. Normally I get 3 flights out of a battery, maybe, on the controller. So let's go up and look at the Waypoint. We did discover that it does continue. If you turn the controller off, it finishes the flight. I would like to try a larger version of this, but preliminary tests say that if you turn the controller off, it will continue its path until the battery runs out or a failsafe happens or something. So that's good to know. It's almost like the Bebop, where you can send it out 6 miles if you want, because as long as you've got battery life, it'll go beyond its range and continue and finish, and when it hits a failsafe, it'll come home. So this seems to be similar to that, which is great. Okay, a lot better than the Xeno one. So let's get it up in the air, and then we'll start the video when it gets in the air, and we'll bring it down a bit. There we go. Up it goes. I'm getting more comfortable with it, but it's a little finicky. So let's go into the, as you see, it still moves around a bit, and it's a good 5 meters away from me. So let's bring it back a little bit. There we go. And it drops altitude. I didn't hit the altitude at all. It's just the way it is. Let's go into these. And here you notice history. If I hit history, and it shows me all the ones I've done. Okay, so if I hit the first one and I enlarge it, that's the last one I did. And if I hit go, it's got a point of interest. On exit, I had continue last time, but it didn't have that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 points of interest, and 10 meters per second is on that one. So let's run that and see what happens. It looks like the 32 meters, so it should be a lot faster than last time. So let's see what happens. Go. And it's going. Well, it's not any faster really, but number 1, and it's pointing to the point of interest, and it's going to number 2, and our speed is 3. So that didn't make any difference. So it's the way it was originally planned. It's only going 3 meters per second, which was the original way it was planned. So that's good. That's good to know. Now it's back at number 3, still pointing at the point of interest. I don't know what the 5 meter mark means on the point of interest. No idea. I'm back at number 4, and it would be, say, mission complete. Okay, so let's go and start a video. Point it down a bit. It's beautiful blue skies today. So the point of interest being at 5 meters didn't mean anything, I don't think. So let's go to the things. And let's do an orbit. Let's see what happens with orbit. When setting central point and radius, the drone will fly around the central point at the default speed. Set the point of interest. The heading will be blah 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 blah, whatever. Please fly to the top of the center to set the center. Please fly to the center to set the center. Okay, let's go here. Okay. Please fly to the center. Okay, setting center. Radius 0 meters. Okay, now I guess please fly away from the center point to set the radius. So let's go away from, going back on the stick. It says 5 meters, 12 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters. Set radius. Speed at, we'll go 5. Heading clockwise, clockwise. Heading free, center, center. Okay, so go. So it's supposed to keep on the center. And it's going around, and I can adjust the gimbal. It's going around, and I'd have to wait for post-production to find out if it's actually on the center, but that's not looking too bad. What happens when it finishes? Or does it continue? Whoa, don't look at the sun, it's really bright. Well, it just keeps on going. So that's interesting to know. It just keeps on going around and around in circles. So to exit that, we just go exit, and it stops there. So if we go back into these and we go to what else have we got? Cinematic, tripod. Let's go to droney. Trace, no. Profile, no. Let's go orbit, tap and fly, droney. Let's go droney. Rocket, invert. Okay, control gimbal camera.
Low battery. Please land ASAP to avoid damaging.
Okay, please drag a rectangle around the shooting target. Okay, and hit the arrow. Go. What's it gonna do? It's going up to, I don't know how high, but it's going up. And it's going up to 50 meters, I believe. So that's not too bad. That works pretty good. So we're down to 25%. And we've got lots of time. I've seen Dustin Dunhill go down to 0 and still have good. We're still at 10.9 volts, so we can go down to 9.1 volt, 9.2. Okay, and that's the end of that. So let's bring it down. Let's look at, let's come this way. And we'll come back up here. And we'll stop and we'll look at the water tower. Up we go. I've got my gimbal set at 8%. So that's why it's a little slow. And we'll keep on going around to the water tower. There we go. And have a look down. And we're down to 22%. What else is in the dronies? What's auto return, auto land, orbit, spiral, tap and fly, SAR. Well, you know the SAR, so let's go to the SAR. And we'll just go, that's what it looks like. And we'll flight it up to 3. That's what it looks like. The thing is, when you get out of this, it stays there. So if I hit the X on the SAR on the bottom right corner, it stays there. And I can fly around. Now when I go back into SAR and bring it back down to 0, it comes back to that. Go out of SAR, and you notice now that my SD card says low speed. I think it's a problem with my SD card. It's one of those Samsung Evos, and I don't think it's the best for this, even though I'm only taking 2.5 K on the video. But anyway, we're down to 18%. So let's come down. Point that camera up a little bit. There we go. A little pan to the right. slow as I can go. Okay, then we'll come down. There we go. That's the house. And it's doing really good today because it's a beautiful day.
Low battery. Please land.
And we're gonna land. We're just gonna put the stick down and let it land. And it does land very nicely. Stick is down, down all the way, and it's down. There you go.